Cycle broken. A survivor's tale. The kitchen smelled of vanilla and desperation on my 13th birthday. Mom had baked a lopsided cake, its pink frosting melting under the summer heat, as our small family gathered around the table. Her smile was too wide, her eyes gleaming with a fervor I'd learned to dread. "You're finally old enough," she announced, voice syrupy with expectation, "to give me the baby I've always wanted." The words landed like a stone in my stomach. My mother, only 28, believed her body scarred by 3 miscarriages was too old for another child. Mine, she declared, was perfect. She'd had me at 15, convinced teenage bodies were built for pregnancy, a belief she'd inherited from her own mother. Dad had left 3 years earlier, unable to stomach her obsession with babies that consumed our lives. Now, it was just me, trapped in her vision. She slid a silver fertility tracking bracelet across the table, its cold metal glinting under the fluorescent light. "This will tell us when you're ready," she said, explaining how it would monitor my cycle with clinical precision. My stomach churned as she described her plan. Jake, her 19-year-old assistant from the birthing center where she worked as a midwife, would be the donor. She'd already orchestrated this twice before, with other girls at the center, delivering their babies and adopting them as their advocate. The room spun as she spoke, her voice a mix of maternal warmth and unyielding resolve. At night, she sat on my bed, showing me the nursery she'd decorated in the spare room, pastel walls, a crib, tiny clothes folded with care. "You'll go back to being a kid after," she promised, stroking my hair. I nodded, my throat tight. Arguing never worked. She'd dissolve into tears, recounting her losses, reminding me of her sacrifices as a single mother. The grooming began immediately, insidious and deliberate. Jake came for dinner 3 times a week, his presence heavy with discomfort. Mom would vanish into the kitchen, leaving us alone in the dim living room. She bought me makeup, red lipstick, masquerading I needed to look older. My bedroom door disappeared, hinges unscrewed because we don't keep secrets in this family. My stuffed animals vanished, replaced with framed photos of pregnant women and newborns from her deliveries. I tried telling my school counselor something was wrong, but the words tangled in my fear. "How do you explain your mother wants you pregnant at 13? Mom had already poisoned the well, telling the school I was struggling with her latest miscarriage. She pulled me into homeschooling soon after, claiming it was for my well-being during this important time. 6 weeks later, the breaking point shattered my world. Mom drugged my orange juice at dinner, the bitter aftertaste lingering as I woke in my bed. Shirt unbuttoned, Jake sitting beside me, his face pale with guilt. He whispered that Mom had threatened to frame him for misconduct, with fabricated evidence, knowing he was gay and terrified of being outed to his religious family. I played drowsy while Mom hovered, her eyes sharp with expectation. When she left to make tea, Jake slipped me his phone. My hands shook as I texted Dad, "Please come get me. She's trying to make me have a baby." Jake deleted the message before Mom returned, but Dad had seen enough. The next morning, Mom tested my urine for pregnancy hormones, humming a nursery rhyme as if it were normal. When it came back negative, she patted my hand. "We'll try again tonight." "Jake's coming early," I forced a smile, helping her chop vegetables for dinner, suggesting baby names to keep her calm. Inside, I was unraveling. Dad arrived with police, just as Mom stirred something into my drink. She played the victim, showing them my with forged entries about wanting a baby. Jake's confession broke her facade. He showed texts and recordings of her threats and plans. Mom grabbed my shoulder as they cuffed her, screaming that I was killing her unborn sibling by refusing her. She revealed she was pregnant again, but would miscarry without my baby, to give her hope. Her voice cracked, exposing a generational cycle. Her mother had forced her to have me at 14 for the same twisted reasons. They found fertility drugs prescribed for me in her midwife bag, along with ovulation charts and conception timelines. Jake's testimony, paired with evidence of her prior victims, secured her 18 months in minimum security. Her lawyer painted her as mentally ill, broken by pregnancy loss. I moved in with Dad, started therapy, and tried to rebuild. But a year later, a text from an unknown number shattered my fragile peace. A photo of Mom outside a middle school 3 towns over, talking to a 12-year-old girl who looked like me, dark hair, slight build, vulnerable. A silver fertility bracelet gleamed on the girl's wrist. The caption read, "3rd time's the charm. This one's sister is perfect age. 2 for 1 special." The girl and her 8-year-old sister were newly orphaned, placed in foster care after a car accident. Mom, wearing scrubs and a foster family mentor badge, had infiltrated their lives. My hands shook as I showed Dad. Dr. Martinez cleared her schedule for an emergency session, her face palling at the photo. The foster agency claimed their mentors were vetted, but Mom had used a false identity, her credentials forged with chilling precision. I couldn't wait for the system to fail again. Dad drove me to the middle school, staying close as I searched for the sisters. I spotted them leaving school, the older girl's arm around her sister, their backpacks heavy with grief. Mom stood by a blue sedan, waving with a practiced smile. I ran to them, heart pounding, and blurted, "That bracelet tracks your fertility. She's dangerous. She hurt me." Mom laughed, calling me unwell, but I showed the older girl the scar where I'd cut off my own bracelet. Her eyes widened as Mom's mask slipped, rage flashing before she recomposed. The older girl removed her bracelet, trembling. Dad blocked Mom as she lunged, and a teacher ushered the girls to safety. Mom's arrest revealed files on 7 foster girls, fertility, drugs, and forged medical credentials. The sisters were safe, but the hollowness lingered. Why us? Why them? Dr. Martinez said some evil defies explanation, but I saw patterns. Mom targeted girls who mirrored her younger self, trying to rewrite her own trauma. The nightmares worsened when I learned of Mom's mentor, Nathaniel, a midwife who'd taught her everything. Nathaniel had been watching me, her presence, a shadow at school, the grocery store, the library. She approached me one day, sliding a folder of photos: me, Dad's car, our house, and 2 new girls. "Your mother needs you to understand legacy," she said, her voice soft as poison. I triggered my panic alarm, and she vanished. But the letter she left, Mom's handwriting, begged me to help with these girls, to secure her freedom. Dad and I became detectives, tracking Nathaniel's movements with Jake's help. Her website touted care for young mothers, its testimonials laced with Mom's manipulative language. We found the new girls at a dance studio, their foster mother mysteriously ill, poisoned by Nathaniel to gain access. Jake recorded Nathaniel's plan, groomed the older girl, used the younger as backup, with a donor already lined up. The police moved swiftly, arresting Nathaniel with evidence of her network: 12 women, all predators sharing strategies across prisons. The foster sisters healed in a new home, their origami cranes symbols of resilience. I spoke at a conference, teaching social workers to spot grooming. Dad and I moved 4 states away, not fleeing, but building a life Mom couldn't touch. College brought psychology studies, cautious friendships, and a new therapist, Dr. Chen, who helped me reclaim my story. The crane sat on my dorm desk, its hidden message: "Thank you for seeing us," a reminder of why I fought. Mom's release looms, but I'm ready, armed with plans, boundaries, and a life she can't steal. Healing isn't linear, but each step forward breaks her cycle, one daughter at a time.